the first 8 games. So Bud Foster's got his work cut out for him, but he has Vegas Robinson back to play that key linebacker position for him. And look for that defense to improve today, Dave.
84th meeting. Lately, it's been friendly to the visitors, who have taken 7 of the last 10. Virginia Tech with the all-time lead. Virginia, here in Blacksburg, has taken 5 of the last 9. Beamer on senior day, hoping that his seniors will leave with a happy memory here. And Al Groh with a very young team, only 10 seniors on his roster, 44 redshirt and true freshmen, helping Virginia close 2002 with a hurry. And Virginia ready to kick. Virginia Tech winning the toss. The wind will be a very key element today. We're told to expect gusts up to 50 miles an hour, 10 to 20 range for the most part as we get set to go. Kurt Smith has it teed up, and we're underway in Blacksburg. Wind at his back. Lee Suggs will take a knee. And from there, Brian Randall, sophomore, out of Williamsburg, 6th in the country in pass efficiency. He's been the starter since week 3 and has had some terrific games that have ended badly in this 3-game losing streak. Key late interceptions have been a problem, especially last week against West Virginia. The Best Buy lineups.
Lee Suggs playing his last game at Virginia Tech. One of the most heralded players in the history of the program. Has his buddy Kevin Jones back, so the untouchables are back intact, full speed.
He has that record, 24 straight games with a touchdown. And Randall rolling after play action. First throw of the day is incomplete, intended for his fullback, Doug Eastlick. The offensive front will look this way for the Hokies today. 2 seniors, 2 juniors, a true freshman in Jimmy Martin, who became a starter just in week 8. They've lost their dominance up front in this 3-game losing streak. Virginia's defensive front, Schmidt has a Virginia freshman record for a defensive lineman, 73 tackles. Canty, second team all ACC, despite missing half the season with a broken leg, and leads all ACC defensive linemen with 76 tackles. 3 wides and the gun for Randall, who will roll and keep on the option for a gain of 6 yards. Merrill Robertson made the tackle for Virginia.
I'll tell you what, for this linebacking crew, keep an eye on the true freshman, Darrell Blackstock. He leads the nation for freshmen in sacks with 12 tackles behind the line of scrimmage. He's wearing 56 for a reason that we will explain a little later in this telecast.
Evans, second team all ACC, the second most tackles ever for a Cav defensive back, and he's making his 43rd career start. Darrell Blackstock, a prize freshman, leads the nation with that 9-sack total in his freshman year. On third down all day for Randall, and his throw is intercepted. Willie Davis returns it to the 20 for Virginia.
Here's where the wind may come into play. Virginia Tech going into the wind on this drive. That pass looked like it got caught up in the wind and hung in the air and was a bad overthrow. The wind is really gusting down there. We were down there before the game, and it was blowing very hard. He had all day to throw the ball to pick out his receiver, and it really looked like that ball hung in the air.
Willie Davis, number 40, is a true freshman. Only in his second start at the free safety position. With a name like that, he'd have to be a great player. The great Willie Davis of the Green Bay Packers, being his namesake, got his team off to a great start today.
Cavaliers with a great chance to jump up early. And the first pass complete to Billy McMullen, who is first team all ACC for the second time. Matt Schaub is the ACC Offensive Player of the Year and the Player of the Year. Junior out of Westchester, Pennsylvania. Also the Offensive Back of the Week for a near perfect performance against Maryland. The Best Buy backs and receivers for Virginia.
Heath Miller's a guy you want to keep an eye on with 8 touchdowns this year. That's the most by any tight end in the nation, number 83.
Cross sweep, and Wally Lundy carries it down near the first down marker at the 10. Nathaniel Adibi made the tackle. Offensive line, 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, 1 senior, maybe the tallest in the country. They go 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", and 6'8". And the defensive front for Tech tackles Kevin Lewis and Jason Lawless out, replaced by freshmen Sandage and Jonathan, who is Kevin's brother. Lundy a little bit short. And a draw play for Lundy with second effort, first down and goal to go. Cavaliers from the 8. Quick check of the linebacking core for Tech.
Number 6, Vegas Robinson, out for 3 games, still has 54 tackles, playing in only 8 games so far. He's the leader. He's the guy that keeps this defensive unit up, and they need him right here.
And in their secondary final home game for seniors, Hardy, Pyle, and Whitaker. After the early interception by Willie Davis, first and goal, Virginia. 8-yard line. Lundy with a short side and runs right into D'Angelo Hall at the 4. Let's check in with Chris in the studio.
Well, guys, check this out at Bedlam. There's a reason why they...
Well, you would think, wow, the Sooners would be laying for them this year. Revenge in mind. Didn't seem to matter in that series. Oklahoma State's had the upper hand the last 7 games. Second and goal here. Cross sweep Lundy. And not much of a cutback alley to about the 2, where he's hit by Hardy.
That revenge stuff don't go nowhere. It doesn't do much good. I'm telling you, it's highly overrated. There's Bud Foster, that defensive coordinator, his defense already under the gun with the turnover early here.
Well, he has to be scratching his head. Last 3 games, an average of 245 yards rushed against them after giving up just 40 a game in their first 8 wins.
3rd and goal at the 2. Michael McGrew in motion. Fake the sweep to Lundy. The throw is dropped. And is it a completion and a fumble or an incompletion? No one has signaled anything yet.
Well, I tell you what, Willie Pyle, if that was a fumble, continued on with the tackle and put the receiver right back on the ball.
You could call that piling on.
Well, there you go.
Our producer Kim Belton with that clever interpretation. Willie Pyle has been missing tackles of late, and that was key. This is also key. This is a young kicker. This is a very tough angle for a right-footed kicker. Very tough.
Connor Hughes, just his 2nd game in this role. He'll try a 20-yarder, and he has got it. So they tried to throw for the touchdown to Jason Snelling. He couldn't hang on. Hughes comes in. And they are able to get some points after the interception by Willie Davis on the first series for Virginia Tech. The Untouchables intact again. Jones and Suggs back to work when we return. A 3-0 lead for the Cavaliers after the early interception by Willie Davis. But the Tech defense with a victory of sorts, as they stop a 1st and goal from the 8 and limit them to only 3. 42 degrees, wind chill 30 and dropping. And those gusts, again, we're told, will hit 50 miles an hour. Very cold, getting a lot colder, and a chance of even snow flurries later on tonight. Kurt Smith, first kick, went about 8 yards deep, and so does this one. So Randall and Virginia Tech, which ended their last game with an interception in the end zone by West Virginia, killing their chances at ending what was at that point just a 2-game losing streak. And they start this game with an interception on the first series. Randall's has had numbers, and the problem has been just the critical mistake here or there. Also a critical end zone interception at the end of the Syracuse game. So they'll start with a toss sweep to Suggs, and he'll fight for a dozen yards. Lee Suggs in his final home game. Senior from Roanoke, over 1,100 yards now, and with 15 touchdowns for the year and a Big East career record 49. And he soaked it up in his final home field introduction.
And his sister, Natasha, and his cousin.
One last time for everything for Suggs. Next year it'll be Kevin Jones alone as the featured back. Cut back to the middle of the field. Hard running for another gain of first down yardage. Give him another 12. Into the secondary where Jerton Evans brings him down.
This is exactly what Virginia Tech needs to do. Again, the wind is in their face. They don't want to be put in a long passing situation. They run the ball the best. They play smash mouth. It's a light defensive line and front seven for Virginia. This is exactly the game plan that they want to do. Tell Whitaker is Raniel Whitaker a little fired up for this. Good hard run always jacks up the sideline.
Two tight ends. Staying with a hot hand. Not much room this time. Let's check in with Chris Fowler.
Guys, Coach Curry knows all about this rivalry. Georgia season, Dave.
And of course now they know who they will play in the SEC championship game. It'll be Arkansas.
Come back for them over LSU.
LSU has had one miracle for, one miracle against. Randall keeping into the secondary. Cuts back to the 40. Jermaine Winborn finally the tackle there, but a gain of 15.
The young players up front for the University of Virginia, Andrew Hoffman, Brennan Schmidt, number 60 and 96 respectively, are just being knocked off the ball. The nose guard, Jake Groh, the center there, just getting good movement. Nice block. Coel, that they call Maximus, getting knocked on the ground. Excellent blocking by the Virginia Tech offense. And again, as you said a minute ago, Mike, running into the wind. That's what you got to do.
Kevin Jones checking in. He'll take his first toss. And Suggs cut it back for room in the middle. Canty making the tackle. First carry for Kevin Jones. We'll go for about 6.
Again, on these kind of plays, you just give it wide and they pick the hole. Get it deep. Jones decides where he wants to go. Nice cut. Oh, wow. What a great cut back to the right. Watch him cut back to the left. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Rich Bettison gets faked out of his proverbial jock there a little bit.
Hamstring check. Kevin pulled it in the first loss in the streak to Pittsburgh about a month ago. Stacked up in the middle. Maybe one. Bettison with the first contact here with a marker down. And Jones, tag team, back out. Suggs back in. Ron Cherry is our referee. And the indication against the Hokies. So Kevin Jones actually returned in the last game against West Virginia. Not quite 100%, but earlier this week turning it loose in practice.
The formation on the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty from his previous spot. We still have second down.
And you know he is going to want that rock all to himself next year. He thought he was going to have it this year. Lee Suggs, after last year, was supposedly going to go to the NFL, but then he hurt his knee and missed the season, so he came back for this year. So he and Jones still splitting time. What a fantastic 1-2 punch they've turned out to be.
They combined for over 1,800 yards, 26 touchdowns, 167 yards per game, and 5.5 yards per carry this year. Randall taking the shovel before Keaton to the 35. 3rd and 5 from there. Another tackle by Bettison, inside backer from Holland, Pennsylvania.
Really wise decision by Randall. One of the most risky things you can do with a little shovel pass, which is what they were running, is to pitch it into traffic. If you see that it's not going to be there and you pull it in and just follow the back up inside, then you can usually make a nice little gain. That's what he did. He gave him a chance for 3rd and 6 rather than 3rd and 12.
4 wides and 3 on the right side for Randall. Suggs in the backfield. Good protection. Keeps again. Will come up well short of the first down as Brennan Schmidt, one of these young Cavalier defenders, redshirt freshman from Arlington, Virginia. And a freshman defensive line record, 73 tackles coming into this one.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt they're going to have to go for it. If they were to kick, it'd be about a 50-yarder. And again, the wind really blowing in their face. Wouldn't have a shot at this, so they'll go for it on 4th down.
Jan Stenerud would have trouble with this one. The great Kansas City and Minnesota and Packer kicker.
6 of 12 this year. They are on 4th down.
So 4th and 3, 2 tight ends. High in the backfield. Randall just before he's hit, throws too high for Ernest Wilford, incomplete, and the Cavalier defense holds.
And you can chalk that up to number 55, the defensive leader for Virginia, Mr. Crowell, Maximus, off the corner and in the quarterback's sternum, and that's the reason for the overthrow.
All ACC for the 2nd straight year, Angelo Crowell. So the Cav defense with a pick and a stop on the 4th down. Matt Schaub, one of the hottest arms in the country, back to work when we come back. Yeah, they filled up in a hurry. 65,000 backing Lane Stadium, and the Cavalier defense, the story so far in the 1st quarter, with an interception and a stop on a 4th down. So they turn it over to Schaub and the offense at the 32. 3 wides all. Diamond on the left side, and Schaub firing incomplete over the middle, intended for Michael McGrew, back to Chris Fowler.
Dave, great finish in the backyard brawl. Pittsburgh down 7. They drive 80 yards. This is a 3rd and 13 play. Rutherford looks for Fitzgerald in the end zone. He cannot haul it in. So one final chance in the final 20 seconds. The 4th down play. Rutherford buying time in the end zone. Broken up. West Virginia follows the win down there in Blacksburg. We're winning at Pittsburgh. 6-1 in the league this year.
For anybody that saw Larry Fitzgerald in the show he put on here, 3 touchdowns, will be shocked to know that he has ever dropped a pass.
The show he put on against Miami, too.
Yep.
He's a heck of a player.
Holding call on the incompletion. So 1st and 20 for the Cavs. And Lundy one-on-one on the corner against Whitaker, with another marker down right along the sideline where Whitaker guides him out of bounds.
I think this is going to be on Lundy. I think for his hand up in the face on the stiff arm.
Gee, I've never seen that call before.
Yeah, he had it up there a long time.
Think maybe he grabbed the face mask?
No, it's going to be on Whitaker.
Going to be on Whitaker.
Boy, I saw Lundy had his hand up there too, and you're right, Bill. It's rarely called on the offense, so take a look at this.
Well, you shouldn't call the offense.
Look at the stiff arm. The hand's right up in the face mask. Whitaker's got his. They have each other's face mask.
That's offsetting,
You
isn't
should
it?
call offsetting.
Yeah, that's a you.
But the offense
boy.
deserves a little balance in the situation. The defense is so cruel and tough when they hit offensive players.
Oh, that's just
I know you feel that way,
dripping
Michael.
with sarcasm. Roniel, I'm with you on that one. I think that should have gone both ways.
Well, that's 61,000 of the 65,000 degrees. 2nd down and 6 instead, and Lundy motion out of the backfield. Snelling picking his way, and a nice extra burst after the initial contact for a 1st down across the 45 to the 46. Finally drawn down by Coles Colas there. Virginia and Virginia Tech, 84th meeting. Virginia trying to become the first ACC team, anyway, that anybody researching the issue can find, to win 3 straight games over ranked opponents. Suggs and Jones for 52. The only points after an interception by Willie Davis. Schaub throwing open through the hands of McMullen, who was one-on-one with D'Angelo Hall. McMullen, 3rd leading pass catcher in ACC history. Over 200 for his career, and usually you expect him to make this catch.
That's right. And Matt Schaub, only 86% completions last week against that fine Maryland defense. And one of the main reasons is because McMullen makes circus catches. That would have been a tough catch, but you would expect McMullen to come down with it.
Last year led the league in every category. Well, Schaub against the Terps, 23 out of 27, and a couple of those were drops. This is not dropped. McMullen hangs on to this and crosses midfield. Well, College Football Saturday presented by the U.S. Postal Service here on ESPN continuing at 7:45 Eastern tonight. What is that, 2:45 Hawaii time? Thereabouts. As Alabama will fight Timmy Chang and the 24th ranked Warriors. That is the number 3 offense in the country, Hawaii, and the number 3 defense in the country, that of Dennis Franchione and the Crimson Tide. Coach Fran rumored possibly to be coaching his final game for Alabama. On third down, Lundy. And with the lunge forward, still will come up a couple of feet shy of the marker.
Yeah, he's going to be a little short. Well, going back to the Alabama-Hawaii game, how do you play in Hawaii? How do you play out there? How do you go to school out there? And then say we got to go to football practice.
How do you play at Notre Dame and go to school at Notre Dame?
Because it's cold. You want to be doing something.
You're a dedicated student, and you're anxious to attend class and do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right. Why? I'd be a surfer. You see me surfing?
I'd like to see you surf.
Well, now Virginia going for it on fourth down. They 7 of 12 coming into the game.
Cavs with 2 tight ends. Face Luzar in motion. They try Lundy off tackle. Easily picks up the first and a couple more.
Very important to realize what we're seeing here. We're seeing a guy that's a true freshman, Wally Lundy, Jason Snelling, 38, who carried on the previous play. True freshmen, both of them. There are about 3 backs here that could be playing for anybody. And this a year ago this time, they were playing in front of 400 people. High school ball. Tall order to make that kind of transition, but so many youngsters doing it for UVA.
9 freshman starters. Lundy, flea flicker back to Shaw, going deep, and McMullen covered very well by Whitaker, so Virginia Tech does not bite.
All right, let's talk about this running attack for Virginia, not their strong point, but Bill, the run defense for Virginia Tech. We saw when it started their first loss against Pittsburgh when they gained 275 on them. They've lost their 2 D tackles. Jason Lallis and Kevin Lewis have 2 freshmen in there, but that hasn't been the only reason. They haven't been tackling as well. In 3 games of over 200 yards, they had some issues.
3 games giving up 266 per game, and prior had been giving up 40.
Marcus Higgins, backup quarterback, in at a wideout, and he makes the catch and then drops it after getting rocked by Whitaker. Incomplete. So they sneak another of their redshirt freshmen in, Higgins, the backup quarterback who briefly beat out Schaub for the starting job early in the year, and he's a wideout here.
This is how you separate man from ball. Anya Whitaker. Boy, he hit the ground.
You got to get on the ground.
Got to get on the ground with it.
Have the ball control, and either get your feet on the ground or land and control it.
Exactly.
And that's why it's not ruled a catch. Good call. Yep. ACC officiating crew doing a good job.
Ooh, trickery. Back to back, setting up third down and 10. Screen, Lundy, and has nowhere to go. Vegas Robinson reading it, following Lundy all the way to the side.
One of the first things that the coaching staff said to us is how much they were happy to have Vegas Robinson back, and you see why right there.
Wow, what a play. He smelled that from the beginning. Good job reading it. Short pass has been the way for Virginia last week. Of Schaub's 23 completions, 13 went to running backs.
Tom Hagen, another true freshman, out of Roanoke, end over end. Richard Johnson up to the 15. And a nice return. Ended by Jerton Evans. Only a 27-yard punt. Johnson brings it back 17. And the Hokies down 3-0. 2:44 to go in the first. You can understand why a Virginia fan would want to cook up some turkey legs. It still puzzles me that Virginia Tech fans want to cook up their own mascot. I'm not quite on board with that. Any explanations? I guess not.
No, I'm
puzzled down there.
My mouth's watering. I want some of that up here.
Mike's just so happy that they're doing it, and he's praying that he'll get a repeat of last year so that they bring them up here and he gobbles them himself.
I'll be honest, Dave, I didn't hear a word you said.
I could tell. You were that fascinated. Two tight ends, and Kevin Jones turned for a series of tailback. Looks for a block around the corner and fights hard for 4 to Chris Fowler.
Is that clear, guys?
As mud.
Yeah.
Conference USA has one of the least clear bowl pitches. A lot of slots to be decided. Jones, no gain, spins right of the arms of Jerton Evans, one of the few Cavalier seniors from Lynchburg. And second team all ACC.
Early defense by Virginia Tech. We mentioned how they had been wasted in the last 3 games. The early turnover with Virginia having great field position and a great stop by the Virginia Tech defense. Willie Pyle with his characteristic tackling back to good habits, and that's why we have a 3-0 rather than a 7-0 score here early.
Hokies on 3rd and 6. Rendell again very well protected. Now breaks down and he's down for no gain. Plenty of time. Got to call that a coverage sack. No one came open, and Daryl Blackstock and Merrill Robertson were the first to get to Randall.
Well, he had his time for a while, hung on to the ball a little too long. All of a sudden the pocket's going to break down around you. Check out the pocket. He's got time. He's got a lot of time. That's called a cup protection. It's very nice. He's got time, but he hangs on. Now the guys can't hold him forever. Can't block it forever. He's got to either run outside or get rid of the ball.
Vinnie Burns. You can see the effect the wind has, kicking to the 35-yard line, picked up by Marcus Higgins on a bounce, and the return to the 38. 30 yards on the kick.
Well, Bill, this is getting interesting now. Virginia Tech certainly has had Virginia's number. But just like the score here, 3-0 UVA, they have to feel that gap is closing. They have to feel that they're making a lot of progress in competing with Virginia Tech.
Well, Coach Groh, you've talked a great deal about their young players, and justifiably so. They got so many freshmen and redshirt freshmen that are not just getting to play, they are good enough to play and to win, as they've been doing as in last week's game. The gap seems to be narrowing.
Lundy through a pretty wide gap, closed quickly by Mikel Baki, inside linebacker, and what may end the first quarter as snow flurries show up.
Snow flurries, and let me finish that thought. The gap seems to be narrowing when you see young players like the backs, like Lundy, we've already pointed out, but there are linemen playing. DeBrickashaw Ferguson, number 66, big left offensive tackle, is a wonderful athlete and a gifted person who's out there maybe a little prematurely, but Mikey's getting the job done.
They're competing right now, absolutely growing with the program right now and competing at the same time and being in these games as by their winning 8 of their last 10. Great run.
Your mama's going to see you, young lady. Dressed like that.
In the hospital when you get pneumonia, she's going to see you.
Put your jacket on.
Well, not just flurries now. It is snowing big time as we end the first quarter in frigid, windy Blacksburg.
Well, it is Thanksgiving weekend, but here in Blacksburg, Virginia, it feels more like Christmas as the snow begins to fall. But we've been telling you all along about the youth in Virginia's team, the excitement. Take a look at how young this team is. 6 seniors on the team, 11 juniors, 13 sophomores, 6 redshirt freshmen, and 11 true freshmen. Last week, 9 of those freshmen started, and the true freshmen accounted for 42 of last week's 48 points against Maryland, Dave.
Alex, as you look at that breakdown, just close your eyes. Tell yourself you're back in Newport Beach, okay?
I'm trying. We don't get snow there.
Man, is it coming down here all of a sudden. We look off to the left from our box, and there's blue sky, so it may not last for long. But here's 3rd and short, and Shaw will keep, but he won't get it. Tim Sandage, the redshirt freshman, starting defensive tackle for Virginia Tech this week. For the injured Kevin Lewis comes up and denies Schaub the first down.
And I look at that blue sky. Yeah, boy, this is kind of weird. But boy, this is lineman weather, that's for sure.
This is when it's fun to play down there, as long as you're one of the big guys.
Yep, absolutely.
That's the second critical stop by the Virginia Tech defense. And every time they do that, the confidence of those young players is going to be lifted. Very important.
Very hard right now to tell what the wind is doing. Swirling around down there. Tom Hagen has it blocked. Virginia Tech gets another one. Picked up and returned by the Hokies. Touchdown. Justin Hamilton with the block and Darryl Tapp with the recovery. The 7th block kick this year. The 97th block kick in 186 games under Frank Beamer.
Justin Hamilton clean right up the middle. You see the crevice that's created there by the stunt. No protector there. It's a blown protection by the Virginia team for the touchdown, and that's Beamer ball, folks.
Carter Worley with the extra point, 7-3. Over half their games under Frank Beamer, this happens for Virginia Tech. A block, and more often than not, the block leads directly to points. Justin Hamilton, redshirt freshman, with the block punt for Virginia Tech. Their 5th of the year. Darryl Tapp with the return, and suddenly 7-3. The pride and joy of Virginia Tech, as the special teams under Frank Beamer are known as here. And when all else fails, you can count on something happening in the kicking game, because that's the way the head coach wants it, and that's why he is in charge and pays 100% attention to pulling off plays just like that one.
It is incredible to listen to him break down, especially when they are going for the punt block, what they're looking for and how they try and find a weakness in their opponent's punt team, and he is just a master at it.
It could be something as simple as which step the center likes to take first after the snap. Anything at all he can find, he'll turn it against you. Lundy returning. John Mollerett's kick to the 33. So one more look at it.
Here's how it happens. You've got responsibilities. Patrick Estes is lined up right here. He's a tight end lined up as an up back. His job is to punch and step out, to double bump, or to swap assignments with the fullback, and somebody blew the assignment, allowing number 27, Hamilton, to come clean and block the kick. That's the only way you block it, when there's a perfect snap, and there was a perfect snap in that situation.
Redshirt freshman blocked it. True freshman Tapp recovered it and scored. Here's Lundy. Very patient. Will wait to set up his blocks and then burst through whatever gap there is. Our Gateway game track with 13 minutes to play in the first half. Randall right off the top, intercepted by Willie Davis. That set up a field goal for Connor Hughes, but then Beamer ball showed up, as it does in 52% of his games. And with that, 7-3. Lundy across midfield. And this imaginative Virginia offense. They give to Lundy, then fake a reverse. Watch for the real reverse, maybe later on. It's 13 yards. Mike Daniels and Willie Pyle on the tackle.
Great pull here by Brian Bartholomew, 62. Right here, he's going to get the hit, clear it out for Lundy, take McCalvakey out of it. Great pull, great feet for a big man. 6'7", 286, turning the corner there to block for his man.
Cavaliers try to answer back, having lost the momentum. Lundy driven down by Willie Pyle, and the senior in his final home game, making the most of his last chance to have fun on the turf at Lane Stadium. Last of 36 consecutive starts. He'll try to make it 37 straight when they go down to Miami. Third on their all-time interception list, and already credited with 6 tackles today. Marker on that last play. We'll hear from Ron Cherry.
Illegal formation on the play. 6 men on the line of scrimmage. That's a 5-yard penalty. We'll replay the down.
The Junction Boys, 1954, the story. Paul Bear Bryant took 115 football players into the drought-ridden desert Junction, Texas, into hill country. 34 would survive to play for him. ESPN Original Entertainment presents the Junction Boys Saturday, December 14th at 9 Eastern. Lundy makes about 5 where there appeared to be none. Michael Crawford finally on the tackle. Let's check in with Chris Fowler.
Georgia Bulldogs beat one very old rival in Auburn.
Uh-oh, Bill. What's your alma mater there again?
He doesn't have much to say about that, does he?
Not much to say. We're going to have to pick it up, fellas, over there between those hedges.
Big first half for Lundy. Virginia Tech run defense has cratered over the last 3 games. Screen set up for him. And he slides for a gain of maybe 2. Big as Robinson right there.
Let's go back to the play before and watch wide receivers. Billy McMullen, 6'4", 208. Not just supposed to go down the field and catch the ball. You get to stick some people here as well. This time, Vincent Fuller. There, I'll tell you what, it's the little things that get it done. You can catch the touchdown passes, make the big catches, but when you need the big play, when you have a run going on, will you get down the field, will you get into somebody's face, and will you stay in front of them or knock them down like McMullen did there?
He is in high cotton, right behind Peter Warwick. On 3rd and 9, Shaw over the middle, a little behind McMullen, but again, that's a catch you expect him to make.
These are the little things. And last week, 23 out of 27 for Schaub. His receivers were helping him making the catches. Tonight we've seen, or today, this afternoon, we've seen a couple of drops. Again, it's going to be a little behind him. Needs to make that catch. Good way to help out your quarterback. Ball does get tipped, redirected in flight a little bit.
Hagan, keeping in mind what happened last time he dropped back. And they don't come for him too hard this time. He gets off a nice high spiral. And it will bounce just into the end zone past the pylon at 47 yards.
Another flag down. Came from the line judge, so either not enough men on the line on the punt team or lining up off sides, I would say, on the defense. One of those two. So my guesses, fellas.
It's time for today's SunCom.
Oh, both.
Take your pick.
How about that?
Gee, you're very perceptive.
Well, you know.
We have 2 fouls on the play. We have 2 fouls on the play. We have illegal formation on the offense, the kicking team. We also have offside on the defense. Those penalties offset.
Really tired of being right, guys. Someone else be right for a while, please.
If it makes you feel any better, we're tired of it too.
All right.
If it makes you feel a whole lot better, it won't last much longer. They'll offset and replay the play, replay the down.
Get another chance.
Just what you hope for, another kicking situation against Virginia Tech. Oh, man, I just love to snap for another punt.
Watch out.
Done that all my life, and our son Bill Jr. did it right here against these guys for UVA. It's not much fun.
He was a long snapper for
Yes,
Virginia.
he was a long snapper. He called me this morning and said if UVA goes through this game with all perfect snaps and kick the ball successfully, it'll be a heck of a game. Well, they didn't make it, Billy.
Because they got
1 blocked already. Now they get another kicking situation. Snapper Ryan Childress has been fine, though. Number 71.
Last time they didn't come after Hagan hard. This time he gets a pass off, and they may get first down yardage out of this. It's going to be close. I think Shenard Newby will come up just short as Hagan has to think on his feet.
Bill, how much is that in the head of the punter? Obviously, that has to be it, isn't it?
Well, I think they had a fake on because it looked like it was orchestrated, but it wasn't long enough.
Not a bad snap. And almost not a bad result, but Tech will take over.
One of the many true freshmen, Tom Hagan, number 10, in the football game here, expected to catch the ball and get rid of it. We speculated as to whether it was a fake or not, it was not, because there goes Ryan Childress, the center, running down the field. Could not have been a fake. It would have been called back had he made the first down, because there was a lineman downfield.
He became close, but Tech takes over, and a swing pass for Doug Easlick, and makes the catch. He immediately falls at the 43 in front of Rich Bettison. Well, Tom Higgins had some talk about here in this first half. He had his previous punt blocked. This one almost turns into a make it up as you go first down to Shenard Newby. But with 10:22 and counting the first half, 7-3 lead for Virginia Tech, and good field position for 2nd and 6. Lee Suggs back at tailback and weaves outside for the corner, driven out by Davis, but a first down. And fans over there wondering where a possible late hit flag might have been thrown. There was none. Davis, who had the interception on the first series that set up the only Virginia points.
Well, I tell you, what vision by Suggs. We saw it with Kevin Jones earlier. They like to get him the ball deeper in the backfield, let them set up their blocks. He saw nothing going play side, and he cuts it back. Great footwork going east and west before he turns it upfield.
And he's running from superb field position, because the kicking game continues to work to Virginia Tech's advantage.
48-yard line of the Cavaliers. Fake the sweep to Suggs. Randall throwing on the run. And a strike to Wilford at the 34-yard line. Another first down.
Remember, we switched sides of the field. The teams have, and now Virginia Tech, they have a little bit of wind at their back as well. So they can take it down the field a little bit more. Look at the size. These wide receivers nowadays, guys, are unbelievable. 6'4", 6'5", 215, 220.
You'd probably be a wide receiver today.
Boy, I'm telling you. As fast as I run, I'm sure that's what I would be.
Wilford came in 9 catches from the school record for a single season. Another fake to Suggs, and Randall under pressure from Darrell Blackstock. He's got himself another sack.
Darrell Blackstock, what an athlete. One of the really fine athletes to ever come to the University of Virginia in the minds of many. Alex has got a story for us about that number 56.
Yeah, Coach Groh thinks that outside linebacker Darrell Blackstock is so good that he actually recommended that he wear Lawrence Taylor's famed number 56. Now, Blackstock had actually requested to wear number 11, but Groh told him, hey, 11's not a good number for you. We're going to have you wear 56.
11 was already in good hands. They swing it out to Suggs and caught at the 30.
Just to finish that up, Al Groh coached Lawrence Taylor at North Carolina, then coached him again with the New York Giants, so he has a little bit of history with number 56. And as a matter of fact, he has a Leroy Neiman painting, which, Bill, what has he said, is as big as every other picture in his office combined?
He called LT and said, could you send me a picture? So LT said, you sit tight, I'll send you one. He sends him a Neiman that's bigger than all the rest of his pictures combined. He said, I had to rearrange my wall.
Well, bottom line, if you're wearing 56 and playing outside backer, you got to have something. Boy, does he ever. In the crowd, and Wilford brings it down at the 11-yard line. Went up with Davis. Number 19 comes down with a 19-yard gain.
Well, we just talked about the size, 6'4", 217, and then you get him jumping. A good job by Randall getting it up in the air. Get it where your big man can reach it. Throw it high, drop it in, let him go up for it. Fantastic job of going up and fighting and taking the ball away. Great pitch and catch.
Wilford, who heard about it all offseason after dropping a potential tying 2-point conversion against Miami last year, came back better than ever. All is forgiven. Suggs to the 5. Here he's hit by Bettison. Virginia Tech poised to go 14-3 up in a game where they had no momentum, no energy from the crowd, except for the brief snowstorm we had. And then, as happens so often, the block kick changes everything. Score on the block punt, and now poised maybe to score again. Witten going left. Johnson slot right. Not quite second and goal. They can get a first and goal from the 1. Suggs picks his way down to the 4. Where Andrew Hoffman, the nose tackle, has him. It'll be 3rd down.
Boy, big test here for the Virginia defense. Virginia Tech used to getting off in the first half, outscored their opponents 199-50 in the first half, and Virginia on the other side not doing as well in the first half, getting outscored 192-111. This would be a huge stop if they could force Virginia Tech to try and kick a field goal.
Well, keep an eye on Blackstock as Johnson goes in motion on 3rd and 3. Suggs down near the goal line and in. Touchdown. He's done it again. The streak has reached 25 straight games. An NCAA record for Lee Suggs.
We've talked an awful lot today about how many young players are on the Virginia team, and we've speculated about whether or not Virginia's closing the talent gap. What they have not closed is the experience gap in a big game like this, and they're getting knocked off the ball.
Worley adds the extra point, 14-3. That was one of the oldest records in the book. Bill Burnett of Arkansas had held it for over 30 years before Suggs finally broke it, and now has upped the streak to 25 games in a row. Remarkable. 14-3 in this battle for the Commonwealth Cup. And we've been kind of comparing the rivalries lately. Mike, you're the authority on the intersectional rivalry, which we'll see again later today, Notre Dame, USC. The intrastate rivalry is your specialty. Georgia Tech, Georgia, coached Alabama, Auburn, and your son played in Virginia, Virginia Tech. Where do you think this one stacks up?
I think this one stacks up very well. Since George Welsh went back to Virginia and got this Virginia program on good footing, they have played well against Virginia Tech, although the last 9 years, the upper hand's been held by Beamer at 6-3, and it seems like they've still got an edge, at least in attitude and fervor today in this game.
And as always on the special teams, which has turned this thing around, it was Virginia leading 3-0 with all the energy sucked down to Lane Stadium until the block punt. And now a problem for Lundy on the kickoff. Hemmed in, down at the 9. James Anderson, after just a 5-yard return. The last 4 meetings in the first half. This is very typical. 119-28 Virginia Tech.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the University of Virginia has continued that trend in their overall performance this year, having been outscored 192-111. Mike, you just alluded to that in the first half. They have been better in the second half.
And Tech just about unbeatable when they lead at the half. Shot nowhere to dump it. Sacked by Coles at the 6. 7th of the year for the junior.
Schaub has gotten high marks this year, and one reason is that he doesn't throw into coverage and try to force things and get those interceptions. This time the protection was excellent, but the coverage was even better. Great job by the deep guys for Virginia Tech. You see the excellent protection. What you can't see is that everybody's covered downfield until Coles comes clean for the sack.
2nd down and 13, Lundy. Hit by McKee at the 10. It'll be 3rd and 9.
Starting to see a little fire in that Virginia Tech defense that had struggled mightily in the last 3 games. It's a huge step for them. If they could force a punt into the win for Virginia, they'd get excellent field position again.
Well, for a while they were facing a not very energetic Virginia Tech defense. Now they got the other kind, the kind that most people see.
They're also going into the win, and that's not a good thing to punt into this situation.
Draw play, and a little room around the left side for Lundy. He'll be close. We'll see where they mark him down. Whitaker had him at the 19, and it may be close enough for a measure.
Our first down man over here says he made it.
I'm saying first down. Yeah,
I agree.
I think he just got it. I was trying to break it to the outside. I thought, boy, should he just try and get north and south and try and get it? Showed his speed getting to the outside. and I believe he just got there. Yeah, he definitely made it.
Billy Hardee came off the other hash. They were in a too-deep coverage, and as soon as the ball went showed that it was obviously a run, he cut loose, and Lundy just flat out ran him and did get to the corner and probably made this first.
Well, if only they could see what we see on that yellow line. They wouldn't need to drag those chains out there. Clearly made it.
You think Al Groh is interested in the call?
Boy, that was a big first down there.
Real big into this win.
7:45 tonight, College Football Saturday, presented by the U.S. Postal Service from the islands, Alabama and number 24, Hawaii. Hawaii going for their 10th win for the first time since 1992, and a 7-game win streak, which would be their longest since 1984. Timmy Chang and the nation's number 3 offense. So first and 10 for the Cavs. Luzarlin in motion. Lundy getting a real workout, and no gain, slung down by Vegas Robinson. They really missed him in the 3 games where he was out with the ankle problem. He didn't return for the West Virginia game, and after about a week and a half to heal after that one, looks to be pretty close to his usual level of quickness and effectiveness tonight.
Excellent size. What I like about him at the snap of the ball, he starts to go forward because he's still quick enough to react side to side if he needs to, but you can tell just with that initial move that he's an attacking style linebacker, not a read and react guy.
He's also 240 pounds. He's the only Virginia Tech linebacker that really sort of fits the prototypical style that you expect from a college linebacker at this level.
That's Elton Brown, by the way, Bill, being walked off. He missed a couple games with a stress fracture in his right foot earlier, so they'll hope that's not a recurrence.
The foot was really bugging him in warm-up.
2nd and 9. McMullen in motion. And another give to Wally Lundy. Room off the right side and a first down to the 32 to Chris Fowler.
Well, the story just gets more amazing in Stillwater. Watch the Pokes here, already up 28.
Are you kidding me?
Wow. Well,
that is unbelievable.
Very few are better in big games than Bob Stoops, but what happens in the littler games?
Wow. Boy.
Lost to Texas A&M, about to be blown out at Oklahoma State. Schaub, the deep out is too tall for McMullen.
And I tell you what, you look at some of the projecting to the bowls, and the thought was Oklahoma was going to be in that Orange Bowl, and I'm sure the Orange Bowl officials right now have their jaws dropped saying, what happened?
Yeah, what else they're doing is they're shuffling through those cards to take care of it. They got the names of those teams. Let's see now. Ohio State, they're gone, aren't they?
Well, you know, Georgia beating Georgia Tech, going to play for the right to go to the
all of a sudden, those Trojans might be looking real good out there in L.A.
They have to beat Notre Dame, my friend.
Lundy, right side again with great blocking from the extra tight end over there, the tackle Mullins, and a gain of 16 yards. That has been his favorite side on this drive, which started deep in their own end.
Now, I'll tell you, there's a sinking feeling in this stadium on the half of the Virginia Tech coaches. Beautiful job of pulling once again by Barthelmez. Good gracious, number 62 really is good at that log block, turning up, smoking the linebacker, and Lundy just ripping these big gainers, and they're coming off the goal line. They started at their 6-yard line into the wind. This is a big-time drive.
Lundy over 100 yards now, 17 carries for 104. Not so much luck when he comes left this time, and he runs right into his blocker, DeBrickashaw Ferguson, as well as Coles Colas.
Well, we talk about Lundy. We see him running the ball, but he has 49 receptions coming in to the game as well. But he does a nice job running in between the tackles and also breaking it outside when he has to. Same hometown as one Carl Lewis is Mr. Lundy. Well, I like this kid a lot. A true freshman, and doing it out of the backfield as well. As I said, 49 receptions most running backs in the ACC by a freshman.
And with that loss, back under 100 yards now. 2nd and 16, Schaub, a floater, and he does not have his usual authority on these passes in this first half.
No, and what happens in weather like this is extremely cold, dry weather. Even though we've had this little spitting, it's not rainy, the ball's not wet, but the texture of the football changes, and he's allowed it to affect his passing. The wind has affected his passing. He is not the same guy that has become the MVP for offense in the Atlantic Coast Conference, and he's going to have to get his accuracy back for them to have a chance.
He's just 5 of 11 for 12 yards. In trouble again. Fumbles it out of bounds. Colas had him again.
Boy, Colas is just all over the field.
Well, Colas is teaching the Brickashaw Ferguson a little bit about infighting, getting up. The Brickashaw has these great long arms, but Colas is short, and he gets inside. He knocks Brickashaw Ferguson back, and then he's in the face of the quarterback.
Uh-oh, punt time again, guys.
Yep, it's always an adventure. True freshman back there.
Higgins had one blocked. Dropped the last snap. Threw almost enough for a first down. And a shank this time off his instep will be marked out of bounds. Mercy at the 41-yard line. A 15-yarder. So his adventures continue. Not very many have been pleasant. 14-3 Tech. Well, what else could happen for Tom Hagen? True freshman from Roanoke had one blocked. Dropped one through. Nearly got a first down this time. Shanked it off his instep and just got 15 yards out of it. So Virginia Tech, plenty of time. 2:03 to go. And all three of their timeouts will start from their own 41. So in great shape to add to a 14-3 lead. Randall scrambling up through midfield. And Chris Fowler, what do you and the fellas have for us coming up at the half?
Well, we got the highlights of the amazing story unfolding in the Bedlam series down in Stillwater with Oklahoma way behind. A backyard brawl that went down to the final seconds in Pittsburgh, plus one AA playoff scores. Lee and Kirk will join me coming up at the half. Dave?
There were bumper stickers spotted in Oklahoma this week that said Les Miles 1-0 against Bob Stoops. Have to go 2-0. Turns into a big gainer for Johnson. Down to the 10-yard line. 39 yards. Catch and run, mostly run for Richard Johnson.
And a missed tackle. That's going to happen. You're out there one-on-one. You've got to make the tackle. See who comes up. Number 40, Willie Davis, head down, making a lunge, breakdown. Just break down, be in position to make the tackle. He's not, he makes a dive, and there you go. Yards after the catch.
Not quite first and goal. Johnson reached the 11.
Unfortunately for the University of Virginia, they're playing true to form. Their first half capacity to get so far behind, they're going to have to buckle up here.
1:07 still to go. Snow showers earlier, and they have given way to a nice sunset here. Just a few scattered clouds above Lane Stadium in Blacksburg. Playing for the Commonwealth Cup, Virginia Tech looking to add to a 14-3 lead, up by 11. They have it first down at the 11 of Virginia. And two timeouts with 1:07 to go.
And as we've stated, don't go anywhere, even if Virginia Tech scores. Virginia is a big time second half team. Coming from behind. They've done it a number of times this year already.
Ryan Randall out of the gun. Sean Witten in motion. Fake shovel keeping Randall. Crowell drives him out at the 7. Stop the clock right at the 1 minute mark.
All this field position began with the special teams emphasis of a Frank Beamer team. I said the first snap was perfect. It was not. It pulled him to his left, which helped the block by Hamilton. Touchdown. The drop snap and the attempt at a fake, not good enough. And finally the shank is caused by the backup of the personal protector, Jerton Evans, number 33, backed up into his punter. Virginia Tech in great field position again.
Not a stemming that time by the Virginia front four, and they're applauding what they saw as movement by Jeff King, the tight end.
Yeah, the Virginia D-line shifted. They did a little movement. Jimmy Martin jumped.
Prior to the snap, that's a false start on the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. We'll replay the down.
That's a big, big 5 yards, and we were teasing Al Golden, the fine young defensive coordinator for UVA. How did you talk Al Groh into getting out of that 3-4 all the time? He said, well, it took a little cleverness. There was a stem just before the snap of the ball. It gained him 5 yards because it caused Jimmy Martin, the right tackle, to move early. Virginia Tech in an unbalanced formation.
Al Golden, Virginia defensive coordinator. So back to the eye now, and the option, and Randall keeping. The ball by Blackstock, fumbled it. Virginia saying they have it.
They do.
They do indeed. Is there a better true freshman linebacker anywhere than Darrell Blackstock? Brendan Schmidt, a redshirt freshman with the recovery.
Boy, I tell you what, you can tell when a guy's coming from the backside, how does he try and tackle? And you see Blackstock, he is going for that chop. He is going for the ball. Watch him come in. He knows exactly where. What a fantastic job of putting hand right on the ball.
And how many times have we said this today, folks? That's a true freshman. Wow. LT, you can be proud of this guy. Frank Beamer knows how big a play that is. That's the biggest play of the game thus far. 14-3 is a whole lot different from 21-3.
You figured they'd stay conservative on their own 10 and under a minute to go. Draw play for Wally Lundy. Should get him back over 100 yards. He was at 104, lost 6.
I would
figure give him 1.
Excuse me, Dave. I would figure that Beamer would be using his timeouts here to try to get one more shot at blocking a punt.
Now again, Virginia's trailed or been tied 7 times at the half this year and have 5 wins. So they bring it back in the second half. So they're certainly used to being down.
They were down 21-0 at the half at North Carolina and came back to win with 37 unanswered points.
The 5th win I just mentioned was tied at halftime, 4 after they were losing.
Lundy again.
Willie Pyle is really smoking them today. I mean, he is going to make up for whatever has happened the last 3 weeks.
Guys, give you one more number about leading at the half. Frank Beamer, when his teams have led at the half over the last 10 seasons, they are 75-7. Pretty close to a sure thing, but Al Groh has one of the hottest teams in the country, though they're down at the moment 14-3. We send you back to Chris Fowler.
All right, Dave, thank you. Kirk Herbstreit alongside.
14-3, Virginia Tech. As we begin the third quarter, Virginia Tech will get the ball. Coming in, trying to end a 3-game losing streak. It's been 10 years since they've lost as many as 4 in a row. They are mindful of how they're going to finish their regular season down in the Orange Bowl against Miami. Al Groh, mindful of the fact that his team had smoked 2 ranked teams in a row coming in. NC State and especially Maryland last week, 48-13. They've looked nothing like that team, especially on offense this afternoon.
For whatever reason, they're a huge second half team, so let's see if that holds true to form. If that's the case, we're going to have a barn burner here.
They are a terrific second half team, but Frank Beamer's teams, if they lead at the half, what is it, 75-7?
A lot to a little, I think it was. Yeah.
Tough to catch them.
Last 10 years.
We saw it happen, though. Pitt did it right here in the fourth quarter, down 14.
Kurt Smith, again, enjoys that wind at his back. So Virginia Tech struggling early, down 3-0, and as happens so often, and this is why Frank Beamer spent so much time on the special teams, they have turned this game around for him.
Beamer ball, the block punt, the drop snap, all that is incorporated into the way they think on special teams here. They call it their pride and joy. A poor snap pulls to the left. Justin Hamilton blocks it. Darrell Tapp picks it up. Touchdown, Virginia Tech. Beamer ball. The drop snap. Tom Hagen, the true freshman, getting a rude awakening and a rude welcome to big-time college football. And that's how you get beat here in this stadium if you can't pull it together.
Randall, first series had one intercepted, and that one came pretty close. He's 5 out of 9 for 85 yards. Virginia, we've hammered over and over again, Mike, how young they are, but they haven't played young until tonight, and for most of that first half they looked like a bunch of freshmen.
Yeah, they did, but a couple of those young guys certainly are stepping up. Wally Lundy, 100 yards already tonight on 20 carries. He is showing he has a bright future here, and Virginia certainly needs some help on the offense, and then on the defense. Darryl Blackstock has a sack, has a caused fumble. These guys are really stepping up for youngsters and looking for, like I said, help from their teammates.
Lee Suggs, who has one of the 2 Hokie touchdowns, reaches the 27, hit there by Evans and Crowell. Our gateway game track through one half. Same old story. Over half their games under Beamer, they do that, block a kick, and usually get points out of it. Suggs streak now 25 straight games with a touchdown in his final performance here at Lane Stadium. And the injured lineman is Chris Canty, sophomore from Charlotte, who made second team All-ACC last week.
Boy, we saw him before the game, Bill. What a specimen, what an athlete he is out there, and he looks like he's in a little bit of pain right now.
Yes, he is.
He had a broken leg in the spring, kept him out until week 6, still made second team All-Conference, and as they check on him, we'll take a break here in Black. Chris Canty had the leg problem early in the year. This looks like an elbow.
Yeah, you're going to see on the number 95 there, the 30 is going to come, Jerton Evans, and hit him right in the left elbow as he's going for the tackle. It's like it got hyperextended in there.
Lots of nerve endings in that elbow, but hopefully it's not serious.
So as they check on him, Randall and the Hokies have a 3rd and 3. And he's had a good day. 8 tackles from defensive end. Keeping all the way and stumbling before he can get near the first down marker. Brendan Schmidt there to cover up Ryan Randall. And a quick 3 and out to begin the second half for the Hokies.
We have seen this play more and more, guys, this year. The quarterback just keeping. He's an extra running back, and now a 1-back set turns into a 2-back set. A 2-back set turns into a 3-back set when quarterback has lead blockers.
That's right, and Lee Suggs was supposed to be the lead blocker there and just didn't really get much done. Randall fell.
Very low kick, knocked down by the wind. Vinnie Burns gets a little bit of a bounce out of it, and it's killed finally at the 40. And are they saying that touched a Virginia player? I sure didn't think so.
No, I think there's a little bit of fighting going on.
There's a little of that in-state rivalry. These guys went to high school with each other. You're lined up across from somebody that you know. You don't want to listen to his lip all year long. You want to win this game, and every now and then it just gets a little heated.
Now, Virginia made a mistake here, but the return man, and then because he wasn't giving the getaway signal to the rest of his teammates, there were too many Virginia players by that ball bouncing around on the ground. Be very interested where this flag goes.
You're not kidding. And when you're doing that, when you're back there in that situation, you need to be shouting, "Poison, poison," so that everybody knows to get away from it.
After the play was over, we have a dead ball personal foul against the kicking team. That's a 15-yard penalty and first down.
And the wind at their back, the Cavaliers have.
Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the Cavaliers, for all their youth, got to take advantage of this. Now we get another shot at it. All right, that's
the first mistake, trying to catch it and then backing off. And now none of his teammates know to get away from it. They're all hovering around it. Oh.
That's dead right there, but the play didn't end necessarily. And so with that mark-off, 46-yard line of Virginia Tech, Lundy starts. And out of bounds at the 40.
Boy, he's fun to watch. Yeah, he is Canty going again. Jerton Evans, his own player, came in and hit him right as Canty was reaching for the ball, caught him right in the back of the elbow. That's a shame. They're going to miss him. Canty was having a nice game.
Yeah, he had 8 tackles and moves real well. Another one of those youngsters.
Backup quarterback Marcus Higgins again in at a wideout. And he was the intended receiver here. The ball bounces. Another poor throw by Shaw, but incomplete. Let's check in with Chris Fowler.
Fellas, you can debate the wisdom of playing Byron Leftwich on one leg, but you cannot dispute his heart. Against Ball State, on one leg, he's 18 of 21, over 200 yards and 2 touchdowns in a quarter and a half.
Wow, amazing.
He is a warrior, Byron Leftwich.
3rd and 4. Michael McGrew in motion. Shaw, swing pass, incomplete, intended for Jason Snelling. And Mikel Baki had it read, sniffed it out. Even if Snelling hangs on, he gets blown up right there.
Virginia Tech's got an answer for everything today in this varied Virginia offense. The coverage here is man. Mikel Baki does not drop into the zone. He does not give them the room. He's running right now. You see his path is directly to the football, which allows him to make a play like that.
Higgins' kick will pound into the end zone. 40, Nets only 20. All right, we've had the ongoing discussion week in, week out, and we'll admit we've dropped some of our early candidates. Seneca Wallace's name hasn't come up very often lately. But I think we've got to narrow down, and we've got 3 different opinions here. Mike, you are still a Brad Banks man.
I'm going with Brad Banks. I think he's had a fantastic year. I would vote him the Heisman.
Bill, you're still a Ken Dorsey man.
Ken Dorsey, undefeated, 35-1, leads his team, wins them all.
You're both wrong.
We're both wrong?
You're both wrong.
Uh-oh.
Randall to Jones. And the pile will move forward about 5 yards.
Flag down, going to be offside.
In the last few weeks, how can you ignore what Larry Johnson has done for Penn State? He's over 2,000 yards, 8 yards per carry, gentlemen. That's unheard of.
Penn State 8-3 against the good opponents. Larry Johnson doesn't make much.
9-3, and if he doesn't get the Heisman, he is the only 2,000-yard gainer on a 9-win team who would be denied the Heisman. Now, why would you want to deny Larry Johnson his Heisman?
Because Dorsey deserves it more. That's the only reason.
Not for 35-1, because it's not a career award.
Alex, where are you in all this?
Okay, how about 12-0?
I would agree with Coach Curry on this, you guys.
All right, turn her mic off.
Turn it off. She can't talk anymore.
Alex, you're so bright. Well, you can tell.
Offsides, 1st and 5. Jones lost it. And Virginia may have come up with another one. They have it inside the 30.
Well, Heisman talk to be continued as we see if Virginia can take advantage of this one. And they have been fantastic this year. Coming into this game, they've recovered 20 fumbles. That's 2nd in the NCAA. Again, these guys tackle and they go for the ball.
Justin Walker, 99, just got that hand in there and ripped it out.
And
he's an old guy.
Yep.
He's a junior. Staten Island, New York. Look at that. That's how you get the ball out. Kevin Jones hadn't been playing much, not as conscious of ball security.
Angelo Crowell recovers at the 29-yard line, and at some point the Cavaliers have got to get some points out of these opportunities. Lundy turns back into the pile and will do well to get a couple of feet out of this one. He was right at 100 yards at halftime. And our weekend of football continues with ABC's coverage tonight, beginning at 8 Eastern of either number 7 Notre Dame, number 6 USC, or Florida State. ABC Sports, the class of college football. And I gotta admit, it's pretty nice to see Notre Dame USC mean something.
Exactly right.
Lundy with some room. And sets up a 3rd and 1 from the 20.
And talking about that, and USC, Carson Palmer has jumped up in the, as far as the next level is concerned. He and Leftwich and Ragone are probably the top 3 quarterbacks coming out. You see the turnovers here hurting Virginia Tech, the interception. There's Blackstock with the fumble. 21st fumble recovered. And here's number 22. Boy, they do a great job of pulling the ball out.
Plus 14 in the wins, plus 3 today, but down by 11. Whistles and flags as Schaub gets the snap.
It's going to go on the offense, too. Brad Butler moved early, and even though the defense moved, they did not move into the neutral zone. One of those young
took the
tackles.
snap. False start on the offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. We still have third down.
It used
and
to
I'm
be,
telling you, 3rd and 1
Yep.
is so much better than 3rd and 6. It's like light years. There aren't many good 3rd and 6 plays. Virginia Tech's defense, having been much maligned the last 3 games, has risen to the occasion, and this young Virginia offense has got to produce here. This is crucial.
Draw play Lundy. Lots of room. Cuts it back. First down inside the 15. That's some of the best blocking we've seen from the Cavs up front all night. 11 yards.
And what a wonderful call by Bill Musgrave, the offensive coordinator for Virginia. Schaub struggling throwing the ball. Beautiful blocking up front. And good lead blocking by Case Luzar, the fullback, with the unusual fullback number of 86. Nice job. The guys up front, the big guys, got movement. Virginia Tech could get that little sinking feeling of giving up too many 3rd downs with running game plays.
So first down. He's off on the walk-on tight end. That's why he's 86. And Lundy bunched up. Hit first by Bakee. Down to Alex.
Hey, you guys, just talking about Matt Schaub at the half. Al Groh, I asked him, is the wind and the cold weather, which is considerable down here, affecting his accuracy and affecting the way he's playing? He said, no, it's not. He is just not executing, and that's what we need to do in the passing game, is execute properly, Dave.
They are still looking at 12 passing yards. 5 of 13 for 12 yards from the number 4 passer in the country. Briefly lost his job after struggling early and won it back and has been one of the best in the country ever since. Heath Miller, a touchdown machine at tight end, has his 9th of the year.
Boy, oh boy, we talked about Heath Miller at the top of the program. Now 9 touchdowns, came in with 28 receptions, close to every 4 times he caught a ball was in the end zone. I mean, that is incredible. 6'5", about 260. Andy Heck, who went to Notre Dame and is now a graduate assistant here and coaching the tight ends, said, you got to talk about this guy. He is a prospect right here. Good job catching it, avoiding the tackle, and getting in the end zone.
But Hughes hooks the extra point, and it's still a 5-point game. Heath Miller has set a new ACC record for a tight end with his 9th touchdown catch of the year. Another redshirt freshman. Foot race. Brandon Myrie, touchdown.
Touchdown! Quincy Wilson took it to the house.
The mantra in Blacksburg has been, we're 3 or 4 plays away from still being undefeated, still looking at a possible national title. But those 3 plays, maybe 1 or 2 others, have knocked Virginia Tech out of that picture all the way down to 19th in the country from 3rd. And suddenly, what looked to be a pretty solid lead in this cross-state rivalry is in jeopardy after Kevin Jones' fumble leads to Heath Miller's touchdown.
Well, I know you have to, I'm sorry, Bill, I know you have to sell the fact that we're a few plays away, but let me tell you what, when you get run on the way they did, they got their noses bloodied a little bit along the way.
When you're giving up 40 yards a game and suddenly you're giving up 266, that's not just a couple of plays, that's missed tackles. They've done better today, but they just blew a coverage on that touchdown to let Virginia back in the game.
With the win, they have to hold it for Kurt Smith. And finally, one will be returned. Suggs from the 1. Lee Suggs out to the 38-yard line. And another look at the latest touchdown by Miller.
Yeah, you'll see Heath Miller here now coming across the field, all the way across the field. Somebody has blown a coverage. This is man. There's nobody on him. And then the missed tackle here. And he's gone to the end zone. Michael Crawford God bless him. Michael Crawford playing under extremely difficult conditions. You got to admire his courage dealing with the cancer situation and out here playing football, but he did miss the tackle.
Suggs as the snow returns. Now, Michael Crawford is just a remarkable story, and they still don't have a full diagnosis, do they, Alex?
You know what? I asked actually today, and they did get back a biopsy that they took 2 weeks ago to kind of give him a definitive answer whether or not he has lymphoma. That came back without an answer, really. I guess it takes maybe up to 3 to 4 tests before they can actually know. They say it's likely he does have cancer, but he just wants to play football until he knows exactly if he does or not, Dave.
Well, if it is cancer, they're optimistic that they're catching it early enough, and that obviously he's so young and in such good health that he will be able to beat it.
But how much do you have to love and admire a young man who wants to be out here with his teammates? I can't imagine anything better than that for Michael, or as a lesson for all the teammates and frankly for the rest of us.
Alex?
Yeah, Coach Curry, actually, Coach Beamer told us that every time he sees him, he has tears in his eyes. He can't believe what this kid's going through, but he says he is so positive and has brought just such a positive aura to the team that they just love having him there.
Well, Michael's not got tears in his eyes, does he?
No way.
Just wants to play ball. You got to love that. Probably a safe haven out there to be with his buddies playing football.
Mark off for 5, 2nd and 11. Quarterback draw. Randall weaving to the 42 into the arms of Crowell.
It's very important to understand about field position. This wind is swirling, but the prevailing wind is still against Virginia Tech. So they take the kickoff and get the great return by Suggs, and they're not down there inside their 20-yard line. They're outside the 40. If they can maintain this football and at least change field position, it means a lot as they use up the third quarter with the wind in their face.
Alex may disagree. Don't you have to love this?
This is great football.
No rivalry. What else do you want? Randall scrambling.
Are you kidding me?
Look how close he comes to a first down. I think he's about a foot short, but by all rights, he should have been 5 or 6 yards short.
Incredible movement by Randall. What an athlete back there. Footwork, just avoiding people, avoiding linemen. Now, again, he should be able to avoid the linemen, but you got a linebacker out there. It's like Blackstock missing the tackle. You had a DB coming up out of coverage missing the tackle. Now they're going to be short. And boy, I tell you what, in this situation, Bill, I think you've got to punt that ball away.
Yep, but look who ended up knocking him down when it was over. Blackstock tracked him down and made the play, and that's what great football players do. Future is so bright for number 56.
Oh, yeah, this isn't even a question here.
It's going to be tempting, though.
Blackstock's, he may look at this as a down year.
Yeah, that's true.
He had 29 sacks as a high school senior for state champion Heritage High, Newport News, Virginia. He had 22 sacks at Fork Union Military Academy last year and came in with a mere 9 to lead all the nation's freshmen.
51 sacks in 2 years.
There are entire conferences that don't produce that many sacks, much less off one player. This shank by Vinnie Burns is returned on the run by Hagans at the 29-yard line, just 31 yards on this kick. Troy punters are having a miserable time down there. 14-9 Virginia Tech. McMullen continues his climb up the all-time ACC list. Caught in the act again.
You got to go on without me.
Are you going to leave some this year?
Virginia from the 29-yard line. Schaub turned on the option, had nowhere to go. Big day continues for Mikel Bakee.
Tell you what, Virginia Tech is doing very well is they know that Virginia likes the short pass. Again, of 23 completions last week for Schaub, 13 went to the running back. So we've seen the linebackers doing a great job following those running backs and not giving up those short passes. And when they are caught, making the tackle right away.
Yep, they're just clamping it.
Cavaliers have had virtually no passing game. They're sticking to the ground again as Lundy weaves to the 35, and it'll be 3rd and 4. Whitaker and Hardy in the secondary for the tackle.
Bill, is there any different kind of play calling here that now Virginia has a win at their back? I mean, do they need to kind of make some hay here in the 3rd quarter?
I think they need to do exactly that. You think about the fact that they've thrown the ball for 248 yards a game, and they're out here hog-tied or turkey-tied in the passing game. You've got to be able to complete some short ones. Make this first down.
28 passing yards. On 3rd and 4, incomplete. Intended for Hagen. So that's the 3rd time tonight they have lined up the backup quarterback, Marcus Hagen, at a wideout.
They're just not effective unless Schaub is accurate with the football. And for him to have a bad night, not a good time to have a bad night.
They have got to have a good punt here. They have got to try and keep Virginia Tech back a little bit in field position.
Hagen's had an adventurous night, to say the least. Gets off by far his best effort. Johnson returns it 8 yards, caught by Ryan Sawyer. It's a 45-yarder by Hagen. 6-0 into the 3rd, still Tech by 5. Hokies take over 27-yard line. And back to Suggs on the ground. Couple of broken tackles and a gain of 11 yards.
Wow, is he fun to watch run. He is something else. 6 foot, $198. Not overly large. Couldn't tell that by looking at those guns of his. But he makes just some nice subtle moves to make you miss.
They clocked him at 4.27 in the 40. Michael Vick was clocked at 4.25. Fastest quarterback in history. So Suggs is in that neighborhood even after the knee surgery that cost him almost all last year. Back to him again. And hit at the 44 by Jerton Evans. And we check in with Chris in the studio. Well, the 2nd year in a row where Oklahoma's national championship hopes apparently going to end with the loss of a state championship. Although they have made that competitive. Suggs, little juke. Nothing there this time. And the Hokies will have a 3rd and about 3.
Again, Bill's talked about it, the field position game here. That's why plays like this, 3rd and 2 at the 48-yard line, is very, very key as to whether Virginia Tech hangs on to that ball, try and run the clock out till they this quarter till they get the win. Pretty good job by Virginia. Again, outsized up front, holding the line of scrimmage.
So 3rd and 2. Suggs most of the way at tailback. Fake to him this time, and Randall's pass batted down to the line of scrimmage. Evans.
And Virginia Tech is now 2 for 8, 25% in their attempts to convert on 3rd down in this football game. And it's not very often that a safety's in there. He's in there in a blitz situation. He gets picked up, but Evans gets that great vertical jump and gets up there and gets a piece of that football.
Hit him in the
critical
armpit.
time. You're not kidding.
Wow.
They come after Vinnie Burns. Sauer came pretty close. And a sideways hop there to the 36.
ESPN's presentation of college football, brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer, and by FedEx, ground, international, online, or express. Don't worry, there's a FedEx for that.
Wind chill was 30 when we kicked off.
Oh, these people are nuts.
IQ probably also around 30 at this point. As Jason Snelling, true freshman fullback, gets a rare carry.
I think Musgrave runs a real risk right here, meaning the offensive coordinator for the University of Virginia. If he goes conservative and doesn't throw the ball at all, he doesn't give Schaub a chance to get on track while he's still got the wind at his back. He's got almost 4 minutes Virginia needs to keep throwing the football. That's how they got here with this good record. They need to continue and make it work.
Virginia defense doing its job lately. Short toss, Lundy with a block by McMullen. Brought down at the 44. McKee, another tackle, along with Brandon Manning. And McKell wanted it known that his name has been mispronounced his entire career. It's not McCall. It's not Michael. It's not McHale. It's McKell, although it's spelled M-I-K-A-L. So
this is the
beginning tonight, McKell McKee. 3rd and 2.
Virginia 3 out of 10 in these situations so far. Got to get better.
Draw play, Lundy. Going to be close. Second effort, I think he does have it.
If he's going to get it there, you're right. That was the second effort. Now, they did that on 3rd and about 5 or 6 last time out, and they made it easily. It looked like Virginia Tech was ready for it, but just weren't able to bring him down.
We got McKell McGee for 11 individual tackles here so far. He's got that nice knack of taking on a blocker, getting off the blocker, Luzar there, and making the play. And even though they made the first, they didn't make much.
Word, by the way, on D'Angelo Hall, will not return. More back problems. Tried to go. Just couldn't stay in there. Keith Miller has a short toss. Short toss for us. Back to Chris.
Well, the CSU team that beat Virginia way back in August, trying to close out the Mountain West campaign undefeated. Watch this. Bradley Van Pelt gets away with a 2-point conversion, finds Joey Kapari. They tie it with UNLV 30-30, fourth quarter.
Boy, where's UNLV come from?
Wow.
You're not kidding.
Challenge the number 13 team in the country like that.
Don't ever count John Robinson out of anything.
Under 2.5 minutes in the third quarter. Shot, reverse McMullen. Out in the open field. He cuts back, has a first down. Still on his feet inside the 35-yard line. At least twice earlier, they faked this play. They finally go to it, and it gets them 19 yards.
And they got exactly what they wanted, with one exception. The aggressive Virginia Tech defense all ran toward the initial action, except Vegas Robinson, who stayed home. Number 6, you see him in hot pursuit, and he can't catch him. Vegas made the right decision. He just couldn't run fast enough to catch McMullen. That long stride.
Mullen ran a reverse last week and threw the ball for a touchdown.
Yes, he did.
That was an incredible play. He had the reverse field, dodge a sack, and get it off to McGrew for a touchdown.
Oh, boy.
Lundy diving on that, but this is going to be an enormous loss back to the 42.
Well, this may force them to take it down the field a little bit more. Again, the plays we've seen, we haven't seen a lot go down the field. Is there. Lundy may have been looking where he wanted to go instead of looking the ball into his hands. Again, we're seeing both sides do this, that little flip back to the running back, get him the ball quickly so he can decide if he wants to take a play side or cut back. They got to pick up some chunks here. They don't have to go for the whole thing.
Loss of 9. Higgins out of the backfield in motion. Fake to him. Now they'll throw it. And Higgins unable to get free in the open field from Brandon Manning.
What a nice tackle. Brandon Manning. Mike, you've talked about it so much. These guys come up and try to blow somebody up. He came under control, kept his feet under him, made the play, got the guy on the ground.
And that's how they said they needed to do it tonight. Bud Foster, defensive coordinator for Virginia Tech, said, we're not going to probably be coming after him a whole lot because of that short pass. We'll let him make the throw, and then we'll get in position to make the tackle. And they've been doing an excellent job of that tonight.
3 wides left side on 3rd and 15. All day for Shaw. Deep over the middle, underthrown and intercepted. Darnell Wiles returns it to the 11. Shaw had a man open. McMullen underthrown and an easy interception. The 5th of the year for Darnell Wiles.
Exactly what Bud Foster said his intention was in this game. Play a lot of zone. Hope Shaw gets impatient. There's 4 deep, 4 across. Perfect coverage. Everybody covered here in a matchup zone, what Lou Holtz calls a matchup zone. Wiles makes a nice break on the ball, and the defensive strategy works.
throws that ball a little earlier. He may have enough air under it to get it there. Threw it too late.
Suggs running back with the toss. And hit by Andrew Hoffman, the nose tackle at the 15. That should do it for the third quarter. We want to extend our deep appreciation to the men, women, and children standing by their families serving in the United States Navy and Marine Corps at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Watching ESPN on AFN, the American Forces Network. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you're enjoying this one. 15 more minutes to go. Darnell Wiles and the Virginia Tech defense looking more like themselves after being shredded 3 weeks in a row. Trying to end that losing streak. They lead Virginia by 5. Who is that masked man? That, of course, our own B-Mac, Brian McIntyre, and his brother, Vegas Robinson. Outstanding linebacker for Virginia Tech. B-Mac being very, very objective, however, in his camera work.
Outstanding cameraman.
Kevin Jones will have a first down. He hasn't had much of a night. He had a fumble turned into a Virginia touchdown, but he picks up 10 here to begin the fourth quarter.
And he, the bigger of the two, in the 1-2 punch of Kevin Jones and Lee Suggs. We talked about Suggs at 6 foot, about $198. Jones about 212, 215. A little more power in his running game than Suggs. Had some more moves and the speed of that 4.27 that Dave mentioned. That is just flying. Pro scouts are going to love that.
6-footer, about 200-pound Suggs, 6 feet, about 212 Jones. He enrolled, looking like he got 4 or 5 years beyond his age because he had been in a real strong weight program administered by his father. Let's check in with Chris.
Oklahoma State outscores the Sooners. Les Miles gets a bath. He's 2-0 now against Bob Stoops, and the fans in Stillwater take care of the goalposts. Oklahoma State beats Nebraska and Oklahoma in the first time ever in the same year at 7-5. They're going bowling. Houston a Tangerine, we hear.
Two-time state champions. Oklahoma State under Coach Miles. Jones, driven back by Schmidt. And this snow is really swirling all over the place now. It is quite a scene. Our Gateway Game Track. Early on, a block punt by Justin Hamilton, returned for a touchdown by Darryl Tapp. Made it 7-3 Virginia Tech. Keith Miller's 9th touchdown, an ACC record for a tight end. That made it 14-9. And off and on, we've had this.
Yeah, that's snow.
Thanks, Bill.
Well, missing Randall on a blitz, turns it up for a first down to the 47. 13 yards, and maybe the best runner on the field for either team tonight has been Brian Randall.
He certainly seems to be, and it's very important to keep what's happened in perspective here in the second half. Virginia has squandered field position and the wind, has missed an extra point. Now Virginia Tech has the win and is marching methodically down the field against the young Virginia defense. Is Virginia closing the gap talent-wise? Yes, they're playing Tech much better than they did a year ago, but they're going to have to close the deal against the win.
Back to work goes Suggs and fights his way to midfield.
Well, you talk about a few plays in a game, Bill, that can make the difference. That one there, 3rd down and short. Angelo Crowell had Randall in the backfield, misses the tackle. Good play by Randall. All of a sudden, you keep that drive going.
Well, Blackstock had him too.
Yep.
Both the outstanding linebackers had a shot at him, and neither one of them could come down with him. And Virginia Tech operating with the win, and that is a huge advantage in a game like this.
Not much in the passing game for Schaub or Randall. Randall, though, a very dangerous runner. So is Suggs, but you knew that. And he'll have another first down to the 42.
Wow.
What a move he just put on Rich Beddison.
Rich Beddison is leaving several parts of his equipment on the field. I think you mentioned earlier he lost his jock. Well, that time I think his
he broke down, but
something else was left out there.
He broke down, but Suggs broke down better.
Suggs didn't break down. He just broke him down.
Cold as it is, you don't want to be leaving any equipment down there. Another first down carry by Suggs for Moore, down to Alex Flanagan.
Well, Dave, we talk about Jones and Suggs on the field. Well, off the field, these guys could not be more different. Suggs is quiet and reserved. Jones very flamboyant and outspoken. They say the one thing they like about rotating, though, is that they get to watch each other's moves, and their moves have rubbed off on each other. But, Dave, how different are these two guys?
Total opposite personality.
Yeah, when we asked Kevin, well, what do you think about Lee having his moves are better this year? Kevin said, well, he watched me last year.
Alex is right. They are so different when you sit down and talk to these two.
Yeah, they can play, though.
Suggs very modest. Jones a little more outgoing, outspoken. And down to the 38-yard line he goes. Another tackle by Angelo Crowell.
And while Jones doesn't mind the splitting time, you know everybody wants to play. And I guarantee you next year when Suggs is off trying to make his mark in the NFL, Jones is going to want to carry that ball about 25, 30 times a game. He's not going to want to share anymore.
The Virginia defense has done a much better job tonight on third down than they've done throughout the year. Virginia Tech's 3 out of 9 in third down conversions here with their next opportunity. Another big play for both teams.
Third down and 6. Randall has been so dangerous keeping in situations like this, but he'll heave this one deep and incomplete, intended for Terrell Parham. First time they've thrown his way, it's overthrown, and the Cavalier defense finally holds.
Boy, I tell you, Virginia's going to have their work cut out for them. Let's see if Virginia Tech can peg them inside the 10 here. Again, we can't tell you enough about the wind and just how hard it's blowing down on that field.
Well, they caught him in man coverage. It was obvious, and they tried to get the big one. I'm surprised. I would have thought they'd go for the first down and run a crossing pattern.
Burns with a little pooch job. Angled it around the 10. They'll mark it at the 9. Couldn't do it a whole lot better than that.
Great play in a game like this. A great play to make Virginia start inside their own 10.
Keep looking up to the heavens, looking for a sleigh and 8 tiny reindeers. A little early, I guess. Great football weather, though. Lots more to come from Blacksburg. We're in Blacksburg, Virginia, not the North Pole, no matter what that looks like. And a 14-9 lead for Tech. UVA backed up to its own 9. They give to Lundy maybe a couple of yards as we go down under 10 minutes. First down on average for Virginia. They have gained 1.7 yards, and Virginia Tech has given itself something to work with on second down because they've averaged 5 yards on first.
You say 1.7 ain't going to get it done. I'm not too smart, but I can figure that out.
This young Virginia team has a history of running trick plays in bizarre situations. This may be one of them.
He gets to this end of the field. Short toss McMullen. And at the 15-yard line, it'll be 3rd and 4. Knocked down there by Rondell Whitaker, who had a lot to live down because this losing streak began in part because they let Pittsburgh out of jail on a very silly late hit penalty incurred by Whitaker. At that point, Virginia Tech had a 14-point lead, all the momentum. That let Tech see what Pittsburgh was really capable of because the Panthers came back, won that game, and Whitaker took a lot of the blame, but his teammates and coaches have been quick to jump to his defense and say, look, this has been a team problem. Don't put it all on Rondell. Shovel Lundy, and he's short. Short by a yard, the freshman defensive tackles. Tim Sandage and Jonathan Lewis converged on it.
A good safe play with a good chance to make the first down. You got to like the call, and it came up just a half-yard short. Now they're punting into the wind. Virginia Tech with a chance to get field position.
Or maybe think about blocking it again.
Or play some more Beamer ball and just bat it back in the end zone and cover it up.
Richard Johnson standing at midfield waiting for this one. Hagan tries to bore it low into that wind. Johnson comes up. Reverses field and down to the 44-yard line. Well, this is what Virginia Tech fans will remember when they were 8-0, number 3 in the country, and looked like they had Pittsburgh right where they wanted them. For no reason at all, Whitaker called for that late hit and then got burned on one of 3 touchdowns by the freshman Larry Fitzgerald that night for Pittsburgh. And the Panthers came back to win it. Virginia Tech followed that with 2 more losses. In good shape here with a 5-point lead. First down at the Virginia 44-yard line. Jones with some room to juke. Kevin Jones down to the 23. What a move he made on Jerton Evans.
Are you kidding me? These two are unbelievable. Fantastic blocking as well. The Virginia defense couldn't get off their blocks, and all Jones had to do was just keep picking his hole. Watch the stutter stepping. East and west. He starts right, goes left, and the kick back outside. Great blocking. Good job by Jimmy Martin. These guys do a great job of going east and west, but then as quickly as they can, change it to north and south and get those positive yards.
21 yards for Jones, give him 57 on the night. And back up the middle, tried to spin off the pile, and he'll pick up 4.
Again and again, the Virginia defense has been called upon in very difficult situations like this, and they have come through and kept their team in the football game so far. This can be one of those defining moments in a program. We've talked over and over about whether or not the talent gap has closed between these two teams. Obviously it has. Virginia's a much better football team than it was a year ago, but this is their chance to see if they can get another stop and keep their team in the game in the 4th quarter.
Second down and 6. And again, Jones in the middle, bounces off the pile and does get extra yards this time. It'll be 3rd and 1 from the 15. Don't forget, 7:45 Eastern tonight. More college football Saturday presented by the U.S. Postal Service as Timmy Chang and June Jones Hawaii Warriors welcome Alabama in what will have to settle for the Crimson Tide as their bowl game this year from Honolulu. Number 3 offense in the country against Alabama's 3rd-ranked defense.
Gut check time for that Virginia defense. Frank Beamer does not want to try a field goal.
3rd and 1. Suggs, 1st and goal.
Well, that was just fantastic blocking. Luke Owens, the guard, pulled and he didn't even have to hit anybody.
Nope, that's because Jake Groh, Jacob Gibson, and Anthony Davis, the left side of the offensive line for Virginia Tech, got those big pads down and moved those feet. And look at the hole. Look at it open.
Boy.
Beautiful. Great job of blocking. That's offensive line play the way it's supposed to be done.
So Virginia Tech now close enough to smell a possible clinching touchdown. The Untouchables, one near 100. Jones, the star of this series. And Suggs will go over 100 as he reaches the 6.
There is no doubt Virginia has to hold them to a field goal attempt, guys. I mean, to make it 17-9, then Virginia would have a touchdown and a 2-pointer to tie it up.
Well, this is 2 in-state rivals that are battling every inch of the way. Angelo Crowell giving up nothing. Maximus with the big hit there on Suggs. Suggs usually runs over people in this territory.
Season turned around for Virginia when they shuffled some folks on the defense after losing 35-14 to Penn State. They have been a completely different unit. But can they keep their offense in the game here? Suggs off tackle, touchdown! And what a memory for the senior, one of the great offensive stars in Virginia Tech's history, to leave Lane Stadium with 2 touchdowns tonight against Virginia.
Well, this one is gift wrapped by the big left tackle, number 57, Anthony Davis. There he is. He's got his man bottled up. Perfect technique, nice block, touchdown.
Worley adds the extra point, 21-9. They will miss Lee Suggs. 17th touchdown on the ground this year for Lee Suggs. All set up by Jones. Virginia Tech closing in on their 4th straight Commonwealth Cup championship. Boy, our crew has been up against it with wind chills dipping down. Well, there were 30 when we kicked off about 3 hours ago. I'm guessing around 0 right now. We've got a lot of people to thank for all their great work all year long. Mallerup's kick will go through the end zone. They include our executive producer, Jed Drake, senior coordinating producer, Mo Davenport, coordinating producer, Ed Placey. Our games this year produced by Kim Belton, directed by John Del Vecchio. Our operations producer, Joe Wire, associate director, Bruce Dunn, videotape producer, Andy Bach, associate producer, Steve Ackles, production assistant, Missy Wells, operations coordinator, Kirsten Jefferson, and many, many others. Our technical director, Ross Flagg, audio, Rick Wallace, engineer in charge, Eric Bjorkquist, our videotape, David Gray and Gene Keller. Schaub hit by a DB as he was getting rid of it. Let's check in with Chris Fowler.
A dramatic finish in Fort Collins as John Robinson's Rebels of UNLV march 80 yards. And then the backup quarterback, Kirk Natkis, to DeJuan Manley, the tight end, for the touchdown. CSU fumbled the kickoff back. It's their first Mountain West Conference loss. And New Mexico bowl-bound the Diamond Walnut San Francisco against BC.
Wow. Stunner in Fort Collins today. Schaub sacked at the 17. Colas has had a monster game.
And on the play before, Nathaniel Adebe. And when they know where you're going to be and they know you've got to throw the football, they pin those ears back, and here they come. And it's great fun for the defense and extremely tough for a young offensive line.
This defense of Bud Foster at the ends, line up wide. They just say, we're going to beat you around the corner. That's what we do best, and that's exactly what they've been doing tonight.
3rd and 14. Lundy motion out of the backfield. Schaub's ball deflected, still caught by McMullen, but he goes nowhere. McKee again.
Tackle number 13 for McKee. Unofficially, we've got him for 13 hits, and now they're punting into this vigorous wind to minimize it. This vigorous wind for yet another time.
Clock rolling down to 3:45. Both teams have all their timeouts. Hagan will get a nice hop out of this, and it will be killed at the 38. I also want to thank our camera crew, and especially those who have had to weather the conditions today. Al Ishu, Mike Jackson, John Sherrill, John Shupin, Dan Roach, Brian McIntyre, Dwayne Crump. Our videotape operators, Don Geist and Greg Lowe. Our booth audio, Buck Jordan. RF audio, Jeff Shuey. Graphics from Steve Getz. Our 1st and 10 folks, Steve Webster and Mike King. Our maintenance engineers, Dean Fogg, Gary Christensen, and Joe Dolney. Our operations assistant, Laura Hawker. Spotter and stage manager, Ken Trevor. Our spotters, John Barnett, Mike Barnett, Wave Robinson, and Thomas Batis. Our statistician, Kirk McCarley, assisted by Ken Roselski and Chris Kokas. Jones. Also thanks to our college football production coordinator, Nikki Godfrey, and our researchers, Chris Felica, Brad Edwards, and Michael Corbo, who come pretty darn close to making us sound like we sort of know what we're talking about.
You are not kidding. What a fantastic crew. And all I have to say is, any other group have a leader like we do in our producer, Kim Belton, who is in the Stanford Hall of Fame for basketball?
Yes, he is.
Is there another Hall of Famer out there producing any of these games?
Not that we know of.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's the man. He's the man, Kim.
Let's do a pickup game with other crews. I bet we win.
That's right. I'll be the water boy.
Virginia not using any timeouts. Jones close to the first down, near the 49. Rich Bettison makes the tackle. So Virginia Tech, assuming they hang on here, a good bet perhaps for the Insight.com Bowl in Phoenix. We'll have the College Game Day scoreboard presented by Suzuki coming up next. And then don't forget, 7:45 Eastern, Alabama at Hawaii. And if you want a different picture of announcers working in comfort, watch
Yeah.
Ron Franklin and Mike Gottfried. About 65 degrees warmer than we are here.
Do you think they had a choice in this thing?
Jones.
Do you think they might have opted for that instead of this? Or, I mean, what?
Well, they must have, because my bribe wasn't high enough.
You guys ever try that poise stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Boy, it tastes exactly like Elmer's glue.
I did some of that dancing out there. What do they call that?
The hula?
The hula, yeah.
That's probably why you were not allowed back in the state.
I did it in a Speedo. That may be the reason.
That's definitely why, then. That clears that up.
Is it one of those thong Speedos?
That's sick, Bill. That's even sick for me to think of, let alone to you to say.
I mean, just the image, the thought.
Jones trying to get wide. Runs past Robertson. And out of bounds. And today, though, Lee Suggs in his final home performance. He was soaking it up from the second he arrived on the field. Touched the rock for the last time. Featured back.
There is such a feeling when it's your senior year. It's your last time on your home field. You really can't describe it, Bill. I know you and I got to experience it as well in our careers, and it's inexplicable. It's just such a great feeling, and when it's over and he celebrates, and there's going to be some sad times thinking it's the last time he's going to be on this field, but enjoy it now. You've had a fantastic game and career.
And the future in the person of Kevin Jones.
And especially,
sophomore.
Excuse me, Dave, again, but especially the way that Lee Suggs has been able to manage. Now, Jones is down. Looks like he got his shin nicked up.
And Suggs isn't done yet. Jones had his season interrupted with a hamstring pull early in the Pittsburgh game. He did return a week ago, not quite to 100%, but they felt for this game he was about as close as he would get. And again, for postseason possibilities, with Maryland given the peach bid for the ACC earlier today, Virginia probably looking at the tangerine, and Virginia Tech would be well advised to look west, probably to the Bob in Phoenix for the Inside.com Bowl.
Up against one of the Pac-10 teams out there, possibly Washington or
looks
Oregon.
like Kevin Jones is fine. If they get to go out there, that Insight.com, we'll get to be their broadcasters again. That'd be nice.
We get to the fullback, Doug Easlick, and he will fight for a first down to the 24.
Yeah, Doug's saying, thanks a lot, Coach. The game's over. I get to carry it once. All right. Well, I'm a fullback. I know how that deal works.
This is what you like to see. The seniors will enjoy it with their fellow classmates.
I was going to respond to that Lee Suggs thing. Just think about it, the fact that he was injured so severely, missed his entire junior year, what he thought would be his last year, then came back this year, and to go out on a good note like this, it really is. And he's a special young man.
So Virginia Tech makes it 4 straight Commonwealth Cups over Virginia. Al Groh will congratulate Frank Beamer, who improves to 9-3. Virginia is still a team to watch in the future. They finish the regular year at 8-5. And Alex Flanagan's down there with a very happy Lee Suggs. Alex.
Lee, your last night playing here on this field. Walk me through some of your emotions tonight.
I played out here for 4 years, and the last 3 weeks, we came out with a loss, and it's my last game here in front of all these fans, and we just had to come out with a win. And everybody on the team came out and played good and put it together.
Not only did you guys come out with a win, but you're looking like yourself. You're looking like you looked the first 8 games of the season.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks, we haven't been playing Tech football really, making silly mistakes and turning the ball over, things like that, But tonight we finally came out. Everybody played together well and pulled it out.
Lee, during the game, we've talked about kind of your demeanor, how humble you are. Fans here just adore you. What do you want to say to them?
I appreciate all the support they gave me, even through last year when I was out the whole year, and just appreciate everything they done for me, and I hope to make them proud each and every day.
All right, Lee Suggs, Dave Shirley, we will be seeing him in the NFL.
We would expect to, and a very telling moment there as Kevin Jones came over and said, this guy's the best right here. And Jones will take over that role by himself next year, but terrific send-off for Lee Suggs today with another 100-yard, 2-touchdown performance, officially finishing 19 carries, 108 yards. But what they are most happy about is the streak ended, and they end with a victory for the home folks.
Back to that Beamer ball. Special teams, tough defense, and a pounding offense.
Final again, 21-9. Coming up next, the College Game Day scoreboard presented by Suzuki. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For summaries and stats of this game, log on to ESPN.com, your home for college football on the internet. For Bill Curry, Mike Golick, Alex Flanagan, and our entire ESPN crew, Dave Barnett. So long from Blacksburg, Virginia. Back we go now to the studio in Chris Fowler.